the Kremlin may not be Pyongyang's largest persistent and crucial protector in the latest big fire, but its cameo in the area is else try by Ruski CEO Vladimir Putin to paste oneself in a geopolitical deadlock comprising the U.S. Fair love China, Russia acting a major part in supporting world and sustainability as so as promotion peace solutions to hotspot issues in the area, Hua told. China is ready to reinforce its collaboration and coordinate in Russia to together retain world and sustainability in the area and about the planet. In a declaration, Russia's Ministry of Overseas Sphere named for all parties to once back to dialogue, confirming its willingness for collaborative efforts in the line, consisting in the background of the realization of the Ruski Chinese Way card. The actual anxiety manufacturer if China is angered by its one-day dominant communistic affiliate searching to requisition more than impact in the area, he's not externally display such concerns. I believe China is sure how its economical growth, its war growth, conducted location at a more rapid step rather than Russia, so in the length run Russia is in no stance to severely problem China mandrel interests, told Tong Zhao, a comrade at the Carnegie Tsinghua Center for World Politics in Beijing. Where are specific beginnings of contest among the two countries, but his share concerns on the U.S. really lot prevail how law currently. How anxiety manufacturer, he told, is the joint state, and more than particularly, the invader in the White's building. Each activity Pyongyang conducted, told Tong, could be discussed by Beijing and Moscow as a response to Trump card's escalated position. Putin emerging to repeat the on Thursday while he named attempts to get the mode of Kim Jong-un to stop its nuke program a corpse end way. The is all deliberate, says Samuel Romani, a Ruski overseas politics expert. Old competition reignites the hustling among the two powers above polar Korea has many decades-long historic cradle. To a degree it began while China and Russia became competitive environment for impact in the communistic planet, they fought boundary battles in the deceased 1960s, told Carl Schuster, retired Navy skipper and now addition prof at Hawaii Silent College. Russia had the more benefit, they had lot more than impact in the area, Schuster withdrawn. While the Berlin side came downward, Russia became really impoverished and China came to prevail. Above the recent 25-year Russia had practically no capacity to influence Pyongyang, it wasn't capable to ensure technology supporting or put considerably in polar Korean production. Currently, Schuster says, Putin sees in prospect to growth his impact, perhaps not by lot, but it would be superior rather than which he has, and it distracts America. Everything slight influence he may receive, how, linked in China's own precarious permanent in polar Korea, he points the opportunity how no one force enjoys especially amiable relations in the in-isolation mode. Where is a deep feeling of distrust at the base of the relation polar Korea has in China and though in Russia, told James Mann, and specialist on Korea at the Wilson Center, where's a perceptual especially in China how Beijing has been too invader above the year and not polite of Korean independence. China and Russia both of stake a boundary in polar Korea, a disengagement how has displaced above period as regional disputes were solved, and one how every of them zealously guard. Mann told how China's definition to set provincial supremacy, or a area of respect that conducted in polar Korea has created mess amongst West observers on China's power to restrain Pyongyang in human beings in Washington, consisting CEO Trump card. Trust China can fair choose up the telephone and resolve the issue, but since of the exhausted story of relations they don't include the capacity to work out at will policy impact above polar Korea. Same DPRK will never beg for the support of amity in China, venturing its nuke program that is as gem as its own lifetime, no question how precious the amity is, the comment proclaimed. Yet China chooses to suffer the obvious militancy. Beijing will ever choose the present management in Pyongyang to any how might pursue should the Kim Tang dynasty drop, says Manitoba. I believe they would quite transactions in the present polar Korean mode in nuke arms rather than they would in a mainly reunified Korea. How places a U.S. contract friend at the China threshold, he told. both of Moscow and Beijing search to hold the US at bay to defend his own interests in the region, thing Man says the US could use to its benefit if it can suppress Polar Korea's scare and conduct public diplomacy once again. Though currently, he told, where are negotiations on negotiations, how could conduct to a de-escalation? But House election belongs in CEO Trump card. Same essential item is, the US has to identify how just it has the capacity to offer Pyongyang which it wants, Man told. Affirmative, China is essential in the area, but allows not outsourcing to China over, particularly taking into account the reality how China is hard to affirm the supremacy in the area. By outsource our Polar Korea politics to China, we're just abetting them in making the US must as well argue in the concept how Moscow too will hug a greater part. Russia wants to be, and be seen as, a large force. It wants to conduct the nations how oppose West force and impact. In defying the joint nations and support Polar Korea, Russia bolsters how statute at household and overseas, Romani says. Or so Moscow's adjustment in Polar Korea will potential get much stronger in the close next.